Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome to another edition of Italian America Long Island. My name is Dave Anthony Ducati. Today we have a very special show devoted to live music. Live music is all but gone on Long Island, and the DJs have taken over. But today we have two highly proficient musicians who are going to talk to us about their specialty in Valtaro music, which is very popular in Italy and was very popular during the 1930s and 40s here in the United States of America. So welcome to Dominic and Frank. Thanks for coming, guys.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
How did you guys meet each other?
I think we know each other as
a real long time, from high school days. Like, I was a sophomore, Dominic was a freshman, I believe. I don't remember as far as that goes, but I remember one time I got a call from his teacher, Pete Spagnoli. He said, I'd like you to get together with one of my students. He says, you guys are probably about the same level. Maybe you can do something. And that's how we met. And then we went to the same high school. And one funny thing is that I remember my daughter used to cry a lot when she was born, okay? And my wife used to put her in the hallway. This is funny. And Dominic came in when we rehearsed one day and he said, is that what you do with your daughter? Is that where she sleeps? In the hallway?
Oh my God.
That's how far back we go. I was in an apartment in Astoria.
What was that, 46th Street?
48th Street.
48th Street.
Right by
Bryan High School. I remember.
So you're a long time family.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
And you've been playing music together the same amount of time?
Well, on and off.
On and
We
off.
worked together and we worked separately and whatever. And I knew Frank before he has a very successful music studio. I remember him when he bought it, when he first started. How many years you got the studio?
Oh, God, 55 years or so.
Yeah. We go back a long time. We go and our teachers knew each other. My teacher and his teacher knew each other, and they played together and everything. And we were into Valtaro music. That brought us together.
So Valtaro music, well, what is Valtaro music?
Well, my interpretation of Valtaro music is actually folk music. It's the songs that they sang when they got around the table. Tutti mi chiamano bionda, which is sort of like what we just did.
Right.
Okay, they named that True Love Waltz, and we can't get into the words because you'd have to edit it.
Okay.
All right.
Off-color.
They're off-color words.
A little bit.
Okay. All the pieces that we play, which sound like different parts of the song, are actually different songs. Mm-hmm. They're medleys. They're all medleys of the folk music that they sang. And these two fellows, Peter Del Grosso and John Brugnoli, Scudellane, and Filomena. Filomena was Peter Del Grosso, like Dominic can get more into that. He knows a little bit more about that history. And Scudellane, which was John Brugnoli, they brought it to America and made a business out of it and opened a place called the Valtaro, which was on 46th Street and 2nd Avenue, right opposite the UN building.
All right, so now what part of Italy did this actually originate in?
It's northern Italy.
Northern Italy.
Emilia-Romagna region, Borgotaro. Now, Valtaro means the valley.
Right.
Val di Taro.
Borgo Val di Taro is the name of the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they called their cabaret in New York City Valtaro.
Valtaro.
Taro is the river that goes through the town.
Okay.
Taro is the river.
All right, so they had this style of music there. These two gentlemen came over. Now, I wanted to ask you about their names, Scudellane and Filomena. What does that mean?
Well, Scudella is the soup.
The family, his father, I think the story is, used to drink wine from the scoop that you use for soup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scudellane. That's in dialect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the family name, it's what they call in Italian soprannome, nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you identify. A lot of people with the same name, but if you say Scudellane, you knew right away the family.
Okay, so that was his nickname. Was that his professional performing name?
No, John Brugnoli, but they know him. Everybody knew him as Scudellane, and the other accordionist, Pete Del Grosso, was known as Filomena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Scudellane was like the family nickname.
All right, so we had this type of music coming from this one region of Italy. And how did you guys get involved with this type of music?
Well, as far as I go, I think Dominic probably will say the same thing. I was born in it.
You were born in Italy?
I was born here, but I was born into that music.
And born into
because
it?
my father played guitar.
Okay.
A little bit of guitar. Not, he wasn't he didn't play so well, but he played well enough that he used to accompany me. He only knew a couple of chords, majors and a few minors, and he would sing and play, and we would do that after dinner on Sunday, right? While I was taking lessons, and of course I studied with Emilio Chiesa, who was one of the group.
One of the Valtaro.
One of the Valtaro. And his teacher, Peter Spagnoli, was another one, and it was like a whole clique.
Okay.
And that's what happened. So as far as that, I knew those songs, like La Mia Mamma Mi Diceva, like my mother used to say. My mother loved that song. That was a folk tune that they brought in from Italy. And like with Tutti mi chiamano bionda, that was like the theme song of the Valtaro.
So, are you going to play for us any of this Valtaro music?
We'd love to.
So here we go with Dominic Karcic and Frank Toscano performing Tutti mi chiamano biondo.
Bionda.
Oh, bionda.
Female.
At their cabaret in New York City, I understand they opened with it and they closed with it. They played it at the beginning of the night, at the end of the night.
So it's a fitting tune for us to start with.
Yes, definitely.
So here we go. Guys, that was fantastic. I am amazed at the musicianship. How long did it take you to learn that piece?
It's
Probably one of the first pieces I ever learned.
yeah, one of the first Valtaro pieces we learned. Yeah.
There are books on the Valtaro music that they published, and they have them in print. They're 99% of the way that it's played.
Well, it's written rather simply.
Simply, yeah.
The structure of it, with all of the runs and arpeggios in many of the arrangements,
That's up to the individual.
it's not in there.
So how long would it take you to learn that? If you were going to teach somebody that?
The
how
real
many years-
style? The real
Oh,
style
no,
is
just that one song. Like how long would you think it would
the
take?
simple version.
Yeah.
The simple version for
Right
us
away.
would, for somebody that's playing a while, wouldn't be that much. But to play it the way they played it in that style is a different ballgame.
Yeah. So
With
you-
all of the embellishments
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
runs and the variations which they add and passing harmonies and things like that.
Right.
Now, Dominic, I understand you're an expert in this, and you've researched this. What kind of researches did you do into this music?
Well, going back, you know, I was brought up with the music. I listened to it, and then around the late 1900s and early 2000, I said there was not this music was not documented. It was not written down in history. So I knew the daughter of John Brignoli, and I called her up and I says, I'd like to write about your father, about how he started his life and so forth and so on. And with her, I worked with her for several months on a collaboration and putting together an article. And the article, it took time. We went back and forth, exchanging ideas and one thing and corrections and so forth. And I wrote the article, which was about 4 typewritten pages, and I sent it to Italy. And to a friend of mine who worked for the Gazzetta di Parma. And the article was translated into Italian.
But they printed it right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was printed in the Gazzetta in Parma on September 10th, 2002. And it got a lot of positive feedback. A couple of years later, somebody got in touch with me from Bologna, who writes for ER magazine. And this gentleman asked permission if he could use my article as a basis for his article, but he wrote a much more complex article. And I sent him pictures of and information about Valtaro Musette, Pete Del Grosso, John Brignoli, with many of his students. In fact, my teacher is right over here. He was studying with him. And these are some other pictures from Valtaro. This is a picture that's very interesting. It's a sign in the actual cabaret. Music on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. My father used to go on Sunday afternoon with my sister and leave my mother home with 2 babies.
Okay. This was in Manhattan?
In Manhattan, on
Manhattan.
2nd Avenue,
46.
between 46 and 47.
And what time period are we talking about? This is what, during the 19...
It started 1936. It started in 36, and they were in business till, I believe, 1961. And Frank was one of the last accordionists. And this is a picture they put in the article of me, my teacher, and his wife, and me and Pete Del Grosso when I was back in roughly 1971. But Frank can talk about the cabaret in detail because he worked there with John Brignoli.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, my approach to that job, so to speak, I was recommended to go and play there from my teacher, Emilio. He said, have this kid that knows the stuff, and if you're looking for an accordionist, he can do the job. So I go with my father to the Valtaro on a Sunday, and lo and behold, I meet this great accordion player for the first time in my life that I had heard about. His name was Gelso Pellegrini. He was working there. So I walk in, I introduced myself. I said, I'm Frank Toscano, and Emilio said that I should come here and talk to you about playing. He said, yeah, can you do Sundays? He said, I don't want to work Sundays. So that was their out. So I'm thinking that they're going to hire me because I'm a great player, but it was just that Gelso didn't want to work on Sundays and they needed somebody. Okay, so he said, well, let's hear you play, kid. So I said, okay, and I got up on the stage, scared to death. And Gelso stood by the bar and watched me play. I played a few numbers, and then I came off and I said, I'm not even going to ask this guy like what he thinks, because I probably can't even shine his shoes. He was a great player. He said, you're terrific. He said, you have great technique. Now, whether he wanted me just to do the job or he was commenting that I was a great player, but I was able to do the job, and hence I became the last accordionist to work in Valtaro.
Now, what would be a piece that you would do there? I know you do the Tutti Mi Camera,
Yeah.
but what's another one that you would do?
Well, like a cheek-to-cheek polka.
Oh, well, let's hear Cheek to Cheek Polka then. What do you say?
Sure, why not?
Great
All
number.
right.
Yeah.
Cheek to Cheek Polka with Dominic and Frank. Here it is. Great, guys. Really great music. We love it so much. And it's when I hear the way that you guys play, the appreciation I have for your dedication and devotion. Music is such a demanding mistress. You've got to spend hours and hours and hours to get to the level of expertise that you guys are at. And I admire you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I would like the rest of the world to know that. How about any memorable gigs? I know you talked about one with this Mr. Pellegrini. How about you, Dominic? Do you have any gigs that stand out in your mind as one of your favorites?
Well, I always enjoyed, when I used to work, my teacher, Pete Spagnoli, who was from that Valtaro school, just like his teacher, on occasion used to ask me to do jobs with him. And that was a tremendous education and honor to do that. And often I wonder how well I did in those days when I was a kid, you know, beginning and working with a pro, you know, how much skill I really had. But it was a great, you know, it was a great eye-opener to work with my teacher, and he taught me the business.
What's one of the tunes that he taught you? Are you going to play some of those tunes for us?
Yeah, we used to do Allegro Waltz.
All right, well, let's hear the Allegro Waltz, and here we go. Dominic and Frank with Allegro Waltz, taught to you by
my teacher, Pete Spagnoli, and his teacher taught him, Emilio Chiesa.
All right, beautiful. Again, how beautiful is that? And you know what's striking me is that it's passed down from person to person. This knowledge is being passed down, and the reverence that you have for your teachers is so obvious. It's a wonderful thing. So what kind of gigs are you guys doing now?
Well, I play at different restaurants. There's not so much band work around because of the DJ situation at this point. I have a daughter that sings, and we have a little duo that we do. One of the restaurants that we play at is La Panetière. In the past, I've been at different places like this. Obviously, we've crossed paths.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic and I have crossed paths. Dominic is currently at Portofino restaurant in Forest Hills, and I worked there for 10 years. And then left, and then Dominic now is there. He'd probably going to stay there for the rest of his life.
Well, wonderful. I see you wearing a shirt with the Accordion Kings. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I got hooked up with Angelo Di Pippo, the great arranger and piano player and accordionist, and Manny Corallo, who's a student of mine, actually. And we formed a group called the Amazing Accordion Kings. Angelo came to hear me play at a place that I play at upstate. I play there also now, Magnanini Farm Winery. Dominic is also one of those accordionists that plays there. Angelo came to hear me. He jumped up and down in his way, like you've learned. He jumped up and down and said, "You're terrific, we have to do something, we have to do something." I said, "Whoa, hold on, I'm not that good." So he said to me, "No, no, 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 you're just like what we need, we knew." And we formed the Accordion Kings. We went to Vegas 3 times, so that was pretty cool.
Vegas 3 times. Oh, that's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. And how about you, Dom? What kind of things are you doing now?
I've been working at different places, and every week I have something, and private parties, restaurants, or whatever, and it keeps me busy.
It warms my heart to hear that there's still a place for live music
There
in
are
this
some
world.
things
Some places, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we've had you guys play some waltzes and some polkas. Do you do any paso doble type stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, we have a great one, if you'd like to hear it. It was actually written by one of the Valtaro members, like so to speak, Mindy Siri, and his wife Addie Siri. They had a big music school in Woodside. And he was also one of the players that played at Valtaro.
And what's the
And
name
he
of
wrote
this
the
piece?
song, Mantilla, which is the, the thing.
Yeah, the Spanish thing. All right, so here we go. The Mantilla Paso Doble. Dominic, how about telling us a little bit about your Italian heritage?
Well, it's originally Croatian, but quasi-Italian, because the region of Croatia that my parents came from, the island, after World War I, became part of Italy. But that part of Croatia was Italian, and then eventually, after World War II, became Yugoslavia and so forth.
This is the area that the famous cook Lydia is from.
Correct, and Mario Andretti too.
Mario Andretti too. So a lot of famous people.
Yeah, and we were embedded with Italian culture and Italian music. My parents were bilingual, and we were brought up with Northern Italian music, especially Valtaro music. They loved it.
Yeah. So Frankie, tell us a little bit about your Italian heritage.
Well, my father was born in Italy, in a little town called Dorno, which is outside of Pavia, which is right next to Milan. They say Dorno, provincia di Pavia, vicino Milano. And my mother actually came from that region that we talked about where the Valtaro originated, Emilia-Romagna, but in the mountains, a place called Bercetto.
So how about we play some more things? Maybe a favorite tune of your mom's? We have something that you would like?
Yeah, Valse Française is, there's a little interesting story about Valse Française. That means French waltz, obviously.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Valtaro brought got that song and didn't know what name it was. So they just said, well, it's a French waltz, so let's just name it Valse Française. And I have it on one of my albums. That's one of my things.
Guys, I want to thank you for coming to be on the show. It's an honor for us to have musicians of such high caliber and high quality to be on this show. And I hope the audience appreciates the amount of time and devotion that you've had to music. I mean, of course, we can tell by the beautiful music, but today people don't know. You know, they don't know how long it takes. You know?
No, they don't have a clue.
Industry. I want to thank you again,
My
Dominic.
pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Frank,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much.